Gold Bond knows that every glow-up starts with radiant skin. So choose Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow for a body lotion that's clinically shown to give you smooth, glowing skin. But don't just take our word for it. 88% of people who tried Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow saw glowing skin in just 1 day. Gold Bond Cocoa Butter Glow. Nourish your skin. Reveal your glow. Buy now on Amazon.
By the time I hit my 50s, I'd learned a few things, like how family is precious. Work can always wait. And 99% of people over 50 already have the virus that causes shingles. Not everyone at risk will develop it, but I did. The painful, blistering rash disrupted my life for weeks. Don't learn about your shingles risk the hard way. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
Welcome back to the Denim-wrapped Nightmares and In Defense of Fandom podcast crossover, a supernatural music extravaganza. All right, take it away, LA.
In this collaboration series, we're looking at music in the show, music inspired by the show, and music created by actors, cast, and crew. Y'all, today we're going full Texan with a focus on two bands that have actually shared a stage with Radio Company. For those who don't recognize the name, Radio Company is a duo formed in 2018 by actor Jensen Ackles and singer-songwriter Steve Carlson in Austin, Texas. Their debut album was released in 2019, with two other full albums released in 2021 and 2023. Night Parade is a classic rock and pop music band from Austin, Texas. They cover classic songs and have played in venues all across the Texas capital. Most notable for this conversation, Night Parade was invited by Family Business Beer Company to play at their annual family reunion, a private members-only party. It was that gig where they had a green room meet and photo with Jensen Ackles. Here's our conversation with the Night Parade band members, Allison, Daniel, and John.
My name's Allison Crow. I am the lead singer of Night Parade. The band has played at the brewery a handful of times. I played there, I think, just like on a random weekend. We played for Fall Fest, and then we played for the members only party. So, that's been a lot of fun. I've watched all 15 seasons of the show. I love the show. Yeah, and I grew up on classic rock. So, once I watched the show and saw what kind of music they played, it was just a fit. So.
Yeah, I'm Daniel, guitar player of Night Parade, and we played at the brewery. We've been playing. I watched some stuff on Supernatural, some cool videos, and I've watched a lot of the music stuff right now. And I've been ready. It looks great. I don't know. I think I'm less qualified than the other guys, but I'm here, and I'm here to have a good time. So it'll be a good time.
My name is John. I am the bass player for Night Parade, and I did not make it quite as far as Allison into the show. But I did have those first couple seasons. Probably, I think I maybe got through 3 or 4. Were pretty foundational for me when I was really young. It was between that and Doctor Who kind of established my love for like the Monster of the Week kind of format, And there was a lot of exposure to online fandoms from that, and so I can definitely kind of relate to what you're saying there. And yeah, I think the what's the Kansas song, Wayward Son, that's like just burned into my memory.
Yeah.
From a young age. I was probably about 15 when I first started watching the show, and the music makes half of it, I think. And I did get to play at one of the shows at the brewery and meet Jensen. He was super cool.
Yeah, I will ask more about playing at the brewery, but I wanted to ask if watching Supernatural, the big aspect for you was the music of the show, and if that was like already a musical genre that you were interested in, or if it kind of broadened your horizons. Because I'm not a musician, but I know that probably you guys consume a lot of different kinds of music as inspiration.
Oh yeah, if you were to open up the music on my phone right now, I kind of have a little bit of everything. My music taste is very eclectic, but I was raised on classic rock, so just about every big musical cue that they have in the show is a song that I already know or that I've already heard. But I think that just makes me appreciate it that much more, because I'm like, oh, that song is perfect for that moment. That was such a good choice,
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there. I'm I like a lot of weird stuff these days, kind of out there stuff. But obviously, being in this band, I still have a big appreciation for the classic stuff, and I think the aesthetic of the show meshed really well with the kind of music they were using. I was not super familiar with a lot of it going in, but became more familiar with it through the show and through, other stuff.
Yeah, becomes one of those soundtracks that when you start hearing it elsewhere and like dive bars, you're like, oh, I remember this.
Right.
Well, tell me a little bit about Night Parade. Like, how do you style your genre of music? How did you guys get playing together? I want to hear a little bit of backstory.
Well, when I was a young boy, my father took me to see a marching band, and that's kind of how the band started, And I've always loved parades ever since, and I've always wanted to be. I was always just a big fan of parades in general, and I was like, what if we had this parade and stuff? And that's kind of the way the name came out. But yeah, me and Allison have been playing together for about 3 years, like 50 gigs later, and still do a lot of classic rock, kind of pop punk, more poppy stuff too, just whatever the crowd wants, kind of entertainment. That's what I like to say, but that's kind of the band, yeah.
Yeah, Danny and I met on a Austin Musicians Wanted Facebook page, and he invited me to a show for his band that he was in at that time. And we met up, and he was just making sure that I could actually sing, and I wasn't just, saying I could sing. And so we clicked, and he's like, well, hey, let's build a band. And he did some posting on Craigslist and reached out to people, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I think the inspiration of the band was what I was thinking is we're this I'm not physically, not really a parade, like a 4-person parade, but still kind of we got guitars, drums, basses and stuff, and we're going to be loud, and we're going to be loud. We're going to
party.
We got the jackets too.
No.
Oh.
You gotta have the band uniform jackets,
Yeah,
and everything.
Yeah. Maybe you'll see us this Halloween, maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
like that. Not so hot.
Well, so you guys have played at the brewery, which is specifically family business brewery. Currently, that location is closed. But how did you first get hooked up with that kind of gig?
Well, I've been going to the brewery for a while, so I was kind of friendly with the staff. And so, I noticed they did live music. I was talking to Scott, who was one of the general managers, and he was like, we love having independent artists here, but we kind of also want to have some bands that play covers because, people actually know the music. They can sing along, they can dance, as opposed to someone who's singing music they wrote, people don't know it. So I was like, oh, well, we have a cover band. I showed him some of our stuff that we have online, and he was like, oh, yeah, that's classic rock. We love that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we just did a random weekend, and it went over really well, and they kept asking us back. So, we're just chomping at the bit, waiting for them to have a new location so we can go back, because it's one of our favorite places to play. It's always a lot of fun.
My first exposure to family business was actually a couple of years ago before I was in the band. There's a state park called Reimer's Ranch out there nearby. And I was out there with some climbing buddies, and afterwards they would always go and grab a beer and some pizza at family business. And I was like, this place rocks. It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how people discover it, but I thought it was awesome. And so I was sold on the vibes like that. When they were like, there's this brewery out in the hills, they were like, it's like a membership deal, yada, yada, Jensen Ackles. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I think it was a little bit more casual. I think a lot of places that we play, it's, and don't get me wrong, it's still pretty casual normally when we play, but it's a little bit more do your job, get in, set up, get out. The people there are not unfriendly, but they're not super keen on chatting with you. At family business, it was we were back in the canning room, and we were kind of getting the full tour. We got a picture with Jensen, which I thought was really cool. They do have that kind of they call it family business for a reason. It's a very comfortable environment, I should say. Great beer too.
What was it like playing the family picnic, I think is what they've called it in the past, a family reunion, which is the private members only party. It's quite a zoo of an event. What was that like compared to just a random Saturday?
Well, it's funny because the 3 times we played, the first time, it was just a normal Saturday, good crowd, but nothing crazy. Second time was Fall Fest, so like significantly more crowded, but still nothing like insane. And then members only parties, like crazy crowded. So I feel like every time we got a little bit more of a crowd. But yeah, I remember, gosh, we were probably, I think it was at our break that we do halfway through the set. We all kind of looked at each other and we were like, this is kind of crazy. It's cool, but like in a cool way, but like this is kind of insane. It was fun. It was fun. It was a different experience than, the places we usually play. That's like a bar, or like, a bar restaurant kind of vibe, or like, late night thing. Like it was just kind of a different vibe.
Yeah, it was crazy because I wasn't really as familiar with Jensen and the whole TV show until I played there, and then I got more familiar with it. And then it was funny because right after we play, I was like, yeah, so like we finished playing and was whatever. I'm super casual on the mic. I'm like, yeah, so like I think Jensen's gonna play afterwards. Like no big deal, right? Oh, it was a big deal. And then,
I was gonna say, huge deal.
they rushed the stage, and it's just like a massive.
All of us looked at him like, you weren't supposed to say that, Danny.
Oops.
And he was like, I didn't know.
I didn't know it'd be that big of a deal. I thought they'd just be like, oh, cool, Yeah.
Well, what did you think of his performance? I mean, like as professional or like, active musicians, what did you think?
I knew that he was a musician because of super random. So I'm a big fan of this artist named Elliott Smith, and one of his most famous songs, Angelus or Angeles, I don't know, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but Jensen actually has a cover of it on YouTube that I stumbled upon, and I remember thinking like, is this the guy from Supernatural? This was like years ago, and so when I actually met him, I was like, do you remember this cover of like he had a little chat with me about that song, and I was blown away. I was like, that's crazy. But he's a great singer. He's really talented. It's not fair. You can't be a great actor and a great singer like that.
And look like that.
Well, going back to Supernatural a little bit, are there any particular like needle drops or musical moments that really stuck with you that you're like, yes, this is the perfect use of this kind of music?
Yeah, we can pull it up right now. We actually have some clips that we wanted to share.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we can watch right here. This Renegade one.
It's also just so beautifully shot.
Yeah. And John, I don't know if you remember, but this was after they had left a bank and found out that they were like wanted by the FBI and had dealt with a skinwalker and all this other stuff. And so they're leaving kind of being like, well, fuck us. Like,
Yeah,
we're not in a good place right now. So it was perfect. I agree with you guys.
That rocks.
I have another one. My other favorite is the introduction for Death.
Mhm.
He's riding up in his big white car and get out. We don't really see his face. We just see the back of him. And when he turns his head, we can see his profile a little bit. But, Oh Death is playing. And then when the guy bumps into his shoulder and he brushes off because he's mad, and then the guy like falls down dead. I mean, that's just the best character introduction, I think, not only in the show, but on TV, I would argue. It's just a really cool introduction. Gives me chills every time I watch it.
Are there any other aspects of music and Supernatural that you guys think are really important to like cover off on, or?
I just think Supernatural is a really great example of how you can combine cinematography and music to just make something even better than it already was, even if it already seems really great by itself. I don't know. It's just, when something auditory and then visual combines in your brain to this like beautiful amalgamation. I don't know. It's just, I think Supernatural is this really great example, and it's this really good blueprint for shows now to, use music not only just to help further along the story, but to help it grow into something even better.
The one thing I noticed is I've been watching these clips and stuff, and as musicians, we're always kind of like thinking about how does the song make you feel, and how to like, because you're changing the temperature of the room just basically with the song that you choose, whether it's a fun upbeat song or whether it's more depressing, sad, more relatable song. And I just what I've seen is just like I can see how Supernatural used certain things to kind of more, like I was watching this one clip where they had Simple Man, and I was like, everyone kind of listen to that song and kind of makes you feel a certain way. And then in the video, it's just kind of like I guess you see the acting along with the song, which is kind of like, there's been plenty of times when I've seen a music video and I didn't like the song before I saw the music video. Then I saw the music video and then I was like, oh, this is like, this is the way the song is supposed to make you feel. So I think that's all I got. I think that's all I got. John, what's saying next?
I guess the last thing I can contribute would be, I don't know if you guys are big on TikTok, to kind of give you guys more of a Gen Z example of this kind of thing. But on TikTok, there's these things called edits. It's like, I feel dumb talking about this, but it's like they'll play like a song. It's like a little like short music video. Obviously everything on TikTok is going to be short form. They're also on like Reels on YouTube.
Yeah.
They'll take a song and just put a bunch of like clips of like a certain character or show. I'm sure there's, if you look Supernatural edit up on TikTok, you're going to get a lot of probably pretty horny stuff as well. But like, it does combine just kind of the visceral feeling of the music with like, this character or person. And I think that's kind of what we're experiencing when we see it in the show, is like you're combining something you like with like the mythos of like a character or a story arc. And I think that's probably going to be something that people associate music and other media with for, hundreds of years.
The Scott sisters in Austin are a alternative acoustic sibling duo from Mississippi. They're known for their harmonies and original tunes, though they also cover popular songs with country, pop, and blues vibes. They come from a family tradition of music, including their musician father, who toured with Earth, Wind, and Fire. After moving to Austin, the Scott sisters went looking for venues to perform and discovered Family Business Beer Company. Like Night Parade, they were asked to perform at the brewery's family reunion and have since performed with radio company across state lines at the SPN convention in Oklahoma City for Saturday Night Special. Here's our interview with the Scott sisters, Christian and Charisse.
Well, I'm Charisse. And I'm Christian. Yes.
A big reason why we definitely wanted the two of you is because I know you were fans of the show first.
Yes.
You've performed at the brewery and you've now performed at conventions with Saturday Night Special.
Very true.
So we definitely were like, we have to talk to the Scott sisters.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you.
So sweet.
I'm sorry if you hear our dogs in the background. They are
doing things
right now.
They're fine. They're fine. Before we get into all of that, however, I was interested, how did you two get started with your musical endeavors?
That's a great question.
I guess specifically we started really young. Our dad's a musician. He really got us into music early. Honestly, music was one of the things in the house that was kind of forced, if we're being like completely honest. And, some things rub off on you and some things stick with you despite it being like a kind of like an embedded kind of culture in your family.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what to say except that out of 4 siblings, we just kind of stuck with the music through our lives. We would like sing in church. I went on to study music, and we both like toured with college choirs and studied opera. I play piano as well as I can. And, we just kind of stuck with it. We really started doing music together, like in each other's presence in like high school and early college, when we were in a couple different community choirs, some unaffiliated, some like gospel choirs. And as I said, I studied music. She went into sociology, mental health fields in college. And so at that point, I really started taking like the academic music route. And even to this day, that's what I do as my day job. I teach people music and speech. And, we just sort of stuck with it. I don't know what else to say, except that was how it started, how it kind of blossomed. So music started young. but we both just kind of made it a priority that going into our adult lives, music would be a constant in our life. It wasn't until the last, I would say, 5 years that we were like, yeah, we should actually start performing together. Because we performed like ensembles before, choirs, as I said. We've toured as adults outside of like college and academic stuff. We toured with like some friends of friends in music and like choral music, like overseas and stuff. But we just decided it was something we wanted to stick with. And so I think we're the two out of the family, out of the 4 girls, that kind of decided to stay in music.
Yeah.
As adults.
And kind of to that I don't know, that thought. So we're not originally from Austin. We do currently live in Austin. We're from Mississippi. As she said, our dad was also a musician. He's toured with like Earth, Wind and Fire. And so he was kind of, old music. Loved it. Great music. But he just kind of had that mentality of, that mentality of like kind of the Jackson 5, like everybody's got to be involved in the music scene. And
Motown, big ensembles.
Yeah, I didn't really sell out to that. I was like, yeah, I can sing, but I'm not going to do this professionally. I refused. So she went into it professionally, and got her degrees, multiple degrees in it. And I was like, no, I'll still do it for fun, but I'm not going to learn piano if I don't want to. I'm not going to go study it if I don't have to. So for me, it was always important to keep music as like an outlet and like enjoyable. I didn't want to have to do that. That's the whole statement. Like I didn't want to have to do it. I didn't want to have to teach it or perform every day if I didn't feel like it. So that's kind of how we went into it. But for us, it's been very organic. I tell people all the time, like, I'm pretty sure I was harmonizing before I could talk. It was just kind of the way it was. We were all singing around the house all the time. So I would harmonize words. I didn't know what I was singing. I would just, make noise. And
to be fair, I do that now.
Yeah, she does.
I do.
But yeah, that's kind of how we got into it.
Nice. Yeah, I was about to say, Charisse, I have a feeling that you're still having fun.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't.
Just an inkling,
I wouldn't do it if I wasn't. You're 100% right. Definitely still having fun.
So, speaking of musical performances, and it's wonderful to hear that you guys started not too long ago actually performing together. Yeah. So how the hell did Family Business Brewery, how'd that opportunity come about? Because that's what puts you guys on my radar.
Okay. Yeah, that's such a good question because it's so hard to explain.
It is very hard.
So when I first moved, because I moved to Austin first, and I've been here about 8 years now, and I didn't really think about seeking out places to perform because it was just me initially. And then when she moved about 2.5 years ago, 2.5, almost 3 years.
Yeah, around 2020.
Yeah.
Ooh, during COVID. That's a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Honestly, so much had changed.
2021, but yes, sorry, my
2021,
bad.
like in the depths of the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. And I was super lonely here, and her lease had run out in Mississippi. And so we were like, you know what? Just come couch surf for a while. That turned permanent, which is great. Love that. But yeah, so she came and we were like, you know what? We should look into actually performing together. We already have like a built-in stage name. We don't have to, work too hard at that. And I was like, let's just go and ask random places if we can perform there.
That's true.
For free, let's just
say,
hey, can we have 2 hours on your stage, whatever. And so that actually worked. I reached out to Gino. Was it Gino first or was it Scott first?
It was
Gino.
No.
Yeah.
We literally just went, right? We just started going.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So
I just have to say this. This is the kind of weird thing that nobody will believe, I swear. It's like we literally were just post-pandemic, well, like tail end and post-pandemic, we were just like, hey, I had just left a higher education position teaching college choir. And so I was like, after COVID, some of those choir jobs just, they sort of dried up. Or for me, honestly, I was in Mississippi and I wasn't being paid enough. And so I was like, I'm not doing this. And so after the pandemic, or at the tail end, we were literally just like, we just need to be in music. And during that time, during the pandemic time, I think we found lots of different ways to just like engage in music, give ourselves excuses to practice. We auditioned for The Voice.
Yeah.
We like did things literally just to kind of, get our nerve back, sing. And so literally we were calling places being like, hey, we're out here. We've got equipment. Let us busk in front of your place. Like,
so to answer
a free
your
drink's
question,
great.
Yeah. So to answer your question, we ended up going to family business.
Yes.
Just randomly one Saturday, because it's not too far from where we live, and we were like, they have a great stage. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, this is a great stage. And so we went up to Gino. And we were like, hey, do you guys have live music here?
This is always how it starts.
I'm usually the one that does it. I'm
It's
like,
true.
hey, so are you looking for a musician? So I was like, hey, do you guys do live music? Are you looking for live music? He's like, yeah. We haven't recently, blah, blah, blah. They have occasional people. They did like karaoke and stuff like that. And I was like, well, don't worry about paying us, but can we just like come and sing? And you let us know if that's something you want to, you would want consistently, like every weekend or whatever. He's like, okay. And so we brought our stuff one weekend, and they were like, oh yeah, we have to have it. after we did one performance, he was like, yep. So pretty much every other weekend for about 3 months. I think it was about 3 months before. We didn't know that they were planning on like closing the family business down. Well, that location down. We had no idea at that time, but they were, very interested in having us kind of consistently perform at their events and stuff like that. So, that's kind of how that worked.
That's literally how that happened.
Yeah, very organic.
Did you-
as I said.
Did you know much about the brewery? Because so I'm from Dripping Springs originally, and the first time I went to that brewery was before I had watched Supernatural, and they kept trying to tell me about how it was owned by some famous dude, and I was like, I don't give a shit, but their beer's good.
Oh my gosh! So honestly,
so
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. That was me.
Yeah.
So during the pandemic, my sister, before I moved to Texas, she was like, "You have to watch Supernatural." She's like, "You just need to watch it." She's like, "I know
it's
you
15
like
seasons.
She's
You
like,
have nothing else to do.
She's like, you just
lock
need to
in,
watch
girl.
it.
Lock in.
There's like something for everybody. There's explosions. There's people dying. There's like zombies. There's, it's
Monsters.
It's all the stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. And she's like, well, this guy Jensen Ackles on there. He's great. And she was like, you should just do it. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I just start kind of casually watching it. But then more importantly, she had been like sending me radio company like clips, and I was like, I'm sorry, why are you sending me these two guys? And she's like, well, this is that guy that's in Supernatural. I was like, what guy? Which one? And she's like, it's Jensen. And I'm like, okay. And so then it was just kind of like, that was the seed that was planted. And so if we're being perfectly honest, by the time I got to going to the brewery, I was a full-blown like radio company fan. I still had not completely sold out. I don't even think I'd finished like Supernatural once by the time I went there. It was just, so I am the person.
This interview is over.
I know. I'm that person. I was like, the beer's great. The pizza's freaking awesome. And like, I guess this thing is like super close to us. So let's go to this place. And so that's when we just kind of went like a lot, and then we started playing there.
So to answer your question, so
I'm a traitor.
She is a traitor. I
am.
I knew about Dripping Springs prior to knowing about family business, and even prior to knowing about Supernatural. But once I figured out the location, I was like, oh yeah, like there's no reason not to. And I was like, let me just figure it out. Like, this is fun. And I was already a Supernatural fan. I was definitely the fan before her. I got her hooked in though. But it took some pulling some legs.
Pulling legs?
Pulling legs,
Oh my
pulling
God.
teeth, pulling limbs, fingernails, all of it.
That's terrible.
It's
That's
like,
torture.
watch the show. It's fun.
And so I did. Yeah.
So I have to know, were you guys given any kind of heads up regarding Jensen just like standing at the back of the stage and watching for you guys performing?
No, we were not given a heads up. It was so fun though. He noticed that.
Yeah.
I know, right? He noticed that.
The way that man was looking at y'all, I was just like, oh, damn.
He's precious. Oh, he's so sweet. he noticed that we were not getting much attention because everybody was kind of turned. He was behind the bar, so everybody was kind of turned towards him, which is the opposite side of the room as the stage.
For your listeners, it's a rectangle, and the stage is on one side of the room, and the bar is on the opposite side. So if you're facing the bar, you are by definition not facing the stage.
You're back.
And he was behind the bar, and so people were watching him. And so he kind of made, it seems like he made a tactical decision based on the videos that I've seen of people posting from that day.
And what he told us, like he literally told,
he's like, they're sitting down. Nobody's gonna see them if I don't like move. So he's like, I'm just gonna move closer to the stage. Yeah. And then I guess he just also made the tactical decision to stand on stage.
He tapped the guy that was, I guess, his bodyguard, like kind of following him around. And he was like, I'm going up there, and the bodyguard's like, no. And he's like, yeah. And so
the videos are funny.
It's so funny, like seeing like the thoughts going through his head, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going up there. And so he just comes on stage, and we're like, do you want a mic? Like, I don't know.
Literally, I was like, because I'm the kind of person that when I get, it really kind of doesn't matter like what I'm performing for, with the exception of like opera. If I'm by myself, like singing opera, I'm going to be like wrecked nervous. But when I know that I'm about to like play a show somewhere, I'm really not, contrary to popular opinion, I'm not actually like thinking about what's going on around me. I'm not thinking about who's in the crowd, who's watching me, because if I like internalize that, I'm done with. And so I literally went into that day. I don't know how you went into that day, honestly, but I went into that day that we performed because it was May 4th. It was 4 days before my birthday. And I was just like, this is awesome. This is a great like birthday thing, you know? And I wasn't even planning. We weren't planning to meet him. I was just like happy to be in the room where it happens that I'm doing music.
Respectfully, that's bullshit, because she absolutely fucking panicked.
Hold on. I'm getting to that. Hold on.
That's the most sister cut-in conversation.
It matters though. It matters to process.
It was the big annual party thing too, right?
Yeah.
And y'all knew that going into it.
I was like, we're here for the people. We're here for the people.
Yeah.
I knew he'd be there. I knew he was the main event, but I was like, I'm the music. I'm happy to be the music. So literally I was sitting on stage. We were in the middle of Shallow, and then he comes up there at the the high big part. He comes on the stage. She was singing that, and this is why I got the words wrong, I guess. And he comes on the stage, and I just see him kind of like saunter up there. I honestly didn't know if he'd gone to the bathroom or what. And so then I just see people
crazy.
looking at us, and I'm like, what is going on? And so when you,
I just got used to performing to the back of your heads.
Yeah, literally. Exactly. And I was happy to be doing that because sound travels. But like when I'm like, he's behind me, isn't he? It was really truly because I was just like, I'm not turning around. Like, I'm not a punk. Like, I'm just going to do my job here. But then I was like, holy shit, they're not even looking at me. They're looking at this godlike statue man back there, because he's literally just standing back there with a beer. And so if you see these pictures on Twitter that are like him behind us looking super focused singing, and then his bodyguard right next to the stage, it's literally just because that was the only way off the stage outside of coming through us. Yeah. And he was like, it's the most strange, surreal thing. But I swear I was not planning anything to see him,
but she
to interact. I did end up panicking hard, particularly the first break.
Yeah,
Jesus, because I wasn't planning to meet him.
No, and I don't know why she wasn't planning on that, but
because
it was so funny. It was hilarious because she's not a fangirl.
I'm not a fangirl,
and she doesn't fangirl over pretty much anyone. No. And we were backstage, like putting on prepping to go on stage. We were loading in our stuff, and he was taking pictures in the back. Were either of y'all there?
So I was there, and actually, like, I have a very relatable story where I brought my brother, who has only ever seen The Boys, and he was like, "Yeah, whatever. He's just an actor, dude, or whatever." And we get up to take a photo. I'm like, "Douglas, this is Jensen." I was just like,
"See, that's exactly
what happened.
That's exactly what she did."
I was in the back. We were loading stuff down. Like we were just, I don't know, putting like a cord in somewhere. I don't know, and I was like, I'm gonna be fine. Like, this is fine. It's just it's a show.
She's like, it's just a guy. It's just a guy.
And then I see him just like standing there. I was like, oh my gosh, it's him. I was like, Charisse, what does he look like? Because like my brain was going crazy. I was like, what does he look like? I was like, I think that's him.
When I tell you she
weird.
panicked, I was like, Christian, get your shit together.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You have to get your shit together. She's like, oh my God, that's Jensen Ackles. That's Jensen Ackles.
I mean, I was like, this is him. Like, yes, is that him?
That's him. Yes.
Like, does he? Oh, wow.
I don't even think I fangirl because she was stressing me out so much.
That's true. That's 100% true.
So don't ever let her say that she didn't fangirl. She's like, I was cold as a cucumber. Bull.
I completely lost it for like the most ridiculous thing. Like by the time I actually like met him, I had regained some of my composure. But like I literally caught a glimpse of him like in the back, and I was like, oh my God. That's Jensen Ackles. And I was just freaking out. So yeah, it was super embarrassing.
And the little forehead kiss was so precious. He didn't prep us for that. You're remembering that.
Yeah.
I think you blanked out a little bit. She was like,
because I still had to play. I still had to like,
there's just white noise in your ears and you're like,
literally.
Oh no.
Literally.
Yeah. So funny. But no, there was no preemptive that he was going to do that at all.
Nope.
It was really sweet though, and so thoughtful. He and I, we all talked about it later, and he was just like, yeah, y'all were too good for them to be literally turning their back to you guys. Like, that's not fair. So
that's what I was about to say. Whenever y'all's video first came across my feed, I honestly didn't even notice Jensen at first. I was like, what is this? Well, who are these?
Like, for real, exactly.
I just stopped and was like listening. And then I was like, oh, that's why this is in my feed. He's over there. But agreed. Y'all are talented and you deserved to be acknowledged that you were there sharing your talent with that room.
So sweet. I appreciate it.
It was honestly, that was such a fun day.
Yeah.
That was my first time performing ever in Texas. So like that brewery was the first time I ever performed in Austin. Yeah. So the whole day was just like a culmination of like me feeling like, honestly, I'd had a very soft landing after leaving my music job, the pandemic, everything like that. That was my sign that Texas was going to be a good place for me. That's just me being sappy, mushy, and so earnest about, how it was for me.
It is the live music capital of the world. I mean, it makes sense,
right? Exactly.
I've been trying to tell people back home in Mississippi, they're like, when are you coming home? Because they're like, so many great people come out of Mississippi. And I'm saying it like it's a joke, but we really do. But also, Austin has been like a place that we have actually gotten like a lot of just support. We've got so many great musicians, great business owners. Anyway, I could go on.
And I do attribute a lot of that, just real briefly. I do attribute a lot of that to Scott at Family Business, Gino at Family Business,
obviously Jensen,
and of course Jensen, because I think all three of them have been really like intentional about their like advertising of us.
Support,
and we consistently get calls from other businesses in Austin because Gino's dropped a word or whatever, and it's just so sweet. Like once you build that bond with people and kind of put the humanity, you look at them and their humanity, and they look at you and they see, honest musicians just trying to make a way. And there is a part of you that's like, oh my God, it's Jensen Ackles, brother-in-law and Jensen Ackles, whatever. But then there's also just the reality of it and like the trueness of it. And Jensen's been really, I think, super beneficial and
obviously
and honest and kind. She said
obviously. Honestly, like
and he ain't too bad to look at either.
Bad to look at. So like he's not bad to look at, and he's like honestly like a charming dude,
such a sweet person.
But then like in like close quarters, like when we've interacted with him, as some of the videos will kind of show, like he's honestly just like a chill dude.
Yeah,
and he's so very Texas,
he's like
to me,
the sweetest stage dad.
And
so cute.
And once again, I say this is why I was like, this is going to be a soft landing for me here in Texas. I think I found my place.
She lucked out.
I 100% did.
You're welcome. I did that.
All right, so talk to us about the journey from the brewery to you guys performing with Radio Company on stage at the convention.
Yeah, that is
okay. Let me see how to condense this. Let me be because it's not that weird of a story. It's literally like rinse and repeat of what happened at the brewery.
Pretty
Different
much,
people,
yeah.
but the same sort of like reckless, no branding
That would be
sort
my
of
fault.
advertising of us. We literally just
I literally
fair
just-
with one drink. She can literally talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And that's not really me. It takes about 4 for that to happen for me. But this is what happened. So
we saw Steve Carlson at Saxon Pub. He was
Oh,
yeah,
love that place.
love
Sorry,
that.
it's such a good venue. It's such a legit,
It's such a great
old
venue.
school-
I want
It's such a cool venue.
so bad. I've got to get in there. But yeah, he was doing like I think it's like a
singer-songwriter night
singer-songwriter
for
night.
BMI music group.
Yeah, and so we had gone to see him. A bunch of other people were there for him as well. He was hiding out in the back because he
Literally hiding out in the back.
like he was just incognito, like hiding in the back. And I was going to the bathroom and I like saw him and I was like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, y'all played blah blah."
Because we'd like seen him play at Family Business before it
Yeah.
closed twice. He played there once for his birthday. He played another show there, like a solo show and stuff. So like we'd seen him
After we
for
performed at the
me,
brewery.
which was honestly a pinnacle of seeing like a radio company member.
Yeah.
And so Sharice was like, "Hey, do you happen to need background singers?" And he's like, "Oh."
Come to
I
think
guess
of
so.
it, yes.
He's like, and then he literally, did he not give you like a set list that night? Like his number and
He
then a
gave me-
set list.
yeah.
And he's like, "I'll call you and we'll chat."
Literally next day he called.
And I'm thinking like, dude, why are you giving your number out to somebody who like, it's not that we just met, but like, dude, don't do that. Like, come on, have some self-preservation.
Zero self-preservation. I love that about him.
That's how it happened.
Yeah, that is how it happened. So he and we exchanged information. And he was like, "Yeah, I actually do need background singers for this event, blah, blah, blah." So then we've sung with him now, 4 times? This October 9th
Several
will be our
times.
4th Steve Carlson and Friends concert
That we do at
that we have
Pershing
at
Hall.
Pershing Hall. And so we're kind of like built-in band now, but which is amazing.
So if I may, how we got to Radio Company.
You cut me off.
Okay, would you like to do it?
Yes.
You're taking a long time. Go.
So so via Steve, he was like, he called Jensen. He was like, "Hey, I think was it Oklahoma that was the first time we sung with them?" Yes. So we sung with them at
Yeah, because I was there and I saw you guys. And yeah, I was waiting in line to get in so that I would be in the pit. And I saw you guys come in the front door and I was like, "What the fuck are they doing here? Have they been walking around and I haven't seen them at all?" Or
Wait,
and I know
okay.
y'all were all dressed up and I was like, "They're gonna sing."
That was
And I started hitting my friend next to me and I was like, "They're gonna sing tonight. They're gonna sing tonight." And she was like, "Who?"
So I feel like I saw you, but I don't even. I know Robin was there and a few other people, and I saw them first. But everybody was like sitting on the floor, like outside the door, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. I was almost getting up to come and get y'all, but then y'all looked like you figured out where you were supposed to be going because
That's exactly
you started
what
walking off and you literally were kind of just hanging out by the front door for a little bit. And like literally right when I got up to come talk to you, y'all started walking with a purpose. And I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
because like I said, I figured out y'all were performing." Yeah.
I was so confused.
I really do want to clarify. Is the question, how did we sing for the first time at Radio Company?
Yes.
Or, okay, because that wasn't, Oklahoma wasn't the first time.
Yeah, with
technically.
radio.
No,
I
it
mean, we
wasn't.
opened for them.
We were in Austin. That was the first time. Was that not there?
No. Second.
Oklahoma was before the Austin Con, if that helps, because I was at the Austin Con, but not at Oklahoma.
Were y'all at the Sagebrush?
Yes. Oh,
that what they're
shoot.
talking
Yeah,
about?
right. Yeah.
That was
I saw
last
you
year.
at Sagebrush too. Yeah.
That was last year.
We didn't
Oklahoma. That
sing,
was
but we didn't
Sagebrush
perform
was
with
last
them.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is audience.
Then Oklahoma was first.
Technically, the first time that we had sung with Radio Company. We had sung with Steve a bunch,
Correct.
but that was the first time technically with Radio Company. Was in Oklahoma City, and so
Oh my gosh, that's the Dancey Dance
That's the
video.
dan-
That's
the
it. Oh my
Dancey
gosh. I'm sorry.
So,
I'm done. I'm ready.
yeah.
How
kinda
funny was
works
that?
is that
Hang on. I need to hear y'all's thoughts on the dancing day.
Dancey Dance.
Okay,
is so cute.
so I just have to say 2 things. First of all, I honestly had forgotten that night was where that video came from.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, since we started singing with Steve, I have just kind of like lost track of time,
Yeah,
if we're being honest. And so I don't actually know like sometimes the things that I'm showing up for. Like I understand that it's a con or it's like a Steve show
Yeah.
or it's like a Steve and Friends show. Like I get it. But also, I forgot that's when
Yeah.
that came up, because the Dancey Dance video
So cute.
is from that night. And that's literally like the only thing that I
sorry.
associate now with singing with Radio Company for some reason.
The Dancey Dance?
They just always start to.
Oh yeah, we just start jigging. Like
Yeah.
that's just our thing. I don't know. He
I
gets,
loved it.
he gets just so happy when he's on stage with other musicians, and like he just engages, and I love
He's
seeing
good at it.
musician Jensen. He's so good.
He's so good at it.
And I think when he's around other musicians,
All
he
those
feels a
guys
little more comfortable, and so he just kind of lets loose, and
Yes.
it's the best. It's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so kind of the way that we got from, the brewery to Oklahoma City where we performed, Steve was like,
is
hey,
a nexus.
y'all are here. Because we had been, long story, but we had been in Oklahoma City already for a girls' weekend that did end up happening totally separate from coming. And we were like, you know what, we're already here. Let's go to the Saturday night special. There's no reason not to. And so we texted Steve and we were like, hey, we're here. Are you performing tonight? And he was like, wait, y'all are here? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, hold on.
Literally,
So
he hangs up on her.
he's like, I'll call you in a second.
Nothing.
So then he's like, I just talked to Jensen. Can you guys sing all my living time tonight? I was like, yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
then I thought to myself, Sharice, what did you just get us into?
Yeah.
I have like my combat boots, and we were just going to do the Saturday night special. We weren't there for the
Y'all
entire
looked cute.
convention.
I saw y'all. Y'all looked cute. I thought y'all were
you.
dressed up for performing.
Absolutely not.
That's what we
This
brought.
was what I was going to wear at the cabin girls retreat thing that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I even prepared for this? And so literally we're sitting in our hotel room and like practicing all my living time. And I'm like, what did you get us into, Sharice?
You're welcome.
And so that's how that happened.
You're welcome.
Long story short.
How did you getting to sing with was it with Loud and Swain, or was it just with Rob doing a cover?
No,
I think it was
Swain.
Loud and
So-
Swain.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I know, so fun. After the first, after Oklahoma City, like we hung out in the green room and backstage and stuff, and gotten a chance to meet with like all the band members and Rob and Jason and Billy, all of them. And they were all like, so when
Mark Shepard.
Mark Shepard, oh sweet Mark. When by the time we had left there, they were like, hey, we're coming to Austin. I was like, yeah, no, we're coming to that convention, or at least the Saturday
That is
night
how that
special
happened.
for the convention. And Rob was like, I'll message you. And I was like, okay. So like 2 weeks later, I honestly forgotten the conversation. 2 weeks later, I
Honestly.
get a message to our band page from his band page, Loud and Swain's page. And he was like, hey, y'all were amazing. And
Yeah, it was Rob or
and
Billy, one of them.
It was one of them, yeah.
Mhm.
Y'all were amazing in Oklahoma City. When we come to Austin, would you guys consider doing
A song.
I don't even remember. Angela.
Angela was what we
Angela.
were going to do. And then we ended up doing Amazing, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that happened like the day of course.
Literally it happened. I think that there's something I just want to underscore here. For everybody listening to y'all who thinks that like this is some coordinated effort to like propel us into like Jensen adjacent stardom, I need you to understand that these interactions literally spawn from like random texts
conversations.
with Steve,
Yeah.
us being just completely unhinged with just talking to everybody and being
Yeah.
like, hey, you need background singers? Seems like a cool thing to do. And then it literally just kind of metabolizes. And
Yeah.
so we get these moments that like seem super planned, 100% not planned. The only thing that was planned that night at Oklahoma City was
All My
that
Living
when
Time.
All My Living Time, literally. I don't think we really practiced.
Austin. The song,
Almost anything
Never
else.
Been to Spain in Austin.
Learned that the day of.
Was that in Austin? That was in Austin. Yeah.
That was in
Learned that the
Austin.
day of.
Yeah. Sorry. Different thing. What was the other one? The
Amazing. We learned
Amazing.
that day.
Learned that the day of.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so anything that looks like it's planned, I just need you to know that it's not.
Not that plan. No.
And I'm gonna do one more plug. I
It's
promise I'm gonna let you
intentional,
talk.
but it's not
It is
planned.
intentional.
Yeah.
The only thing that is like planned is that we all are like, we all know that, and this is something that I absolutely love about the Supernatural cast, because holy shit, they're all like music professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of them, but you know what I'm saying.
So many
like,
of them.
it's uncanny how many of them are like
So good.
in music, great at it, and like just I'm not saying they're bad actors. What I'm saying is that like, holy shit, why have we not seen
they're so good
more
at
of their
music, too.
singles? And so like when we're backstage with like the cast or whoever's singing, everybody's just kind of like in their zone. Like if something's like unclear, we're just chatting through it. And it really feels, for me as somebody who studied music, it really just feels like one of those amazing communities of musicians. Like I would not necessarily know they were actors if somebody took a somebody took a snapshot of us like backstage. Because it really just feels like this is just a show we're doing with the band that's tonight, and we're just gonna make it work. So everything that you see on stage is actual chemistry, whether or not everything is planned. I don't know if that makes sense, but
it's very, I think I said this earlier, it's very organic, and I think that's what's made it so fun. It's just that it's been right place, right time, right conversation. And also they're just so open and accepting and kind.
Really good,
literally, they're all
people.
the sweetest people. And
I also want to say that y'all are just performing at a level high enough that they're like, we know we can call you in on the day of, and like you're gonna learn it and be like ready to rock and roll. Like you gotta be at that level already to be able to just be like, call me in, coach, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Girl, you know what?
I was about to say, I feel like y'all's talent has something to do with it. I mean, I hear you.
Like
but I feel like the fact that you're talented,
honestly,
it has something to do with it, lady.
Except thank you. That's appropriate.
Yes.
But inappropriate.
You're not giving yourselves enough credit here.
Maybe not. I never do. But
I don't know.
I mean, here's my thing. If you challenge me with like, for example, Never Been to Spain, never heard that song in my life. It's a great song now that I've heard it.
I'll never forget it.
But apparently Steve and Jensen have been just like talking about it for weeks now. And Jensen's like, oh, I want to do this. And Steve's like, yeah, let's do that. And then they realized that the other one wasn't going to sing harmony.
No, it's really true.
So they were like, this needs harmony. And Steve was like, hey, so there's this song. And I was like, really?
I legit,
like 2 hours before the concert.
So we told you that like we performed with like Steve and friends at like Pershing Hall in Austin several times now. So the show before the Austin Con, Steve, it was like a Thursday and then the thing was on Saturday. Steve was like, oh, it's going to be really cool, y'all, because he just gives us rundowns of everything. I'm doing the Steve voice. He just gets excited about like everything to me, or at least that's how I hear it. He's like, oh my gosh, guys, we're going to do this song. We're going to do a song that's like Never Been to Spain. And we had just recorded Sail On with him. That's about him being in Mallorca at the port of Soyer. And so I was like, oh, that's excellent. It's a wonderful, like meta lore sort of like Spain stuff going on. And so my neurodivergent mind was just happy that there was like a connection. But then literally he told us about that song. We were not in it. He was just telling us about the songs.
He's like, oh, me and Jensen are going to do this. I was like, oh, that's going to be great.
And then come to find out, none of the guys at Loud and Soleil, am I throwing them under the bus?
No.
This is what I was told. Nobody learned it. And so they were like, bring them up there. Y'all can learn this. And so that's literally how it happened that we were up there for that song. So I don't know. It's not always planned.
Not planned.
You make it work though. You make it work. You're
100%.
professionals.
I'm sorry. We're talking so much.
Well, just for the remainder of the conversation, do y'all want to talk more about the Scott sisters' journey, or do either of you have any thoughts about music from the TV series that you'd like to share?
I have two things for I'll take both. The music from the series, particularly as a person that kind of was passively watching Supernatural, but then actively like listening to radio companies' music at the time that I was kind of getting steeped in this world of these actors and musicians. I just had no idea how musically savvy the cast and crew was of Supernatural. And so now looking back at like the soundtracks and the songs that were chosen and the songs that maybe unintentionally kind of went viral and associated with the show, they make so much sense now, knowing a little bit more about the people behind it. I don't know Eric Kripke, I've never met him, but now knowing like a little bit more about Jensen, now knowing a little bit more about Mark Shepard, Rob, all of the people in Loud and Swain. It makes so much sense that the show was like steeped in
such good music,
such good, honest, like rock and roll that is just accessible, timeless.
So timeless.
And like
Jinx.
and like Jinx, and just really, I would say, to my music teacher brain, it's a very musically consistent soundtrack, the music that was used in Supernatural. Sometimes like in shows that run so long, they'll like dibble dabble in like different genres of music throughout the series to kind of convey or, you know, enhance whatever's going on. But like Supernatural, to me, stayed pretty in its vein from day one. I know a lot of that was probably based on the characters within the show. And that I was about to say none of them got killed off. Well, they didn't get killed off forever every time except one. I don't know how that works. Anyway,
I feel like everybody died.
Supernatural fans will know why I'm saying that with question marks in my voice. But like, yeah, I am honestly in awe of the consistency of that, and now getting to see a little bit behind the curtain, and just to know that like so many people on that cast are just musicians, just honest rock and roll folks. It's freaking awesome. So those are my thoughts about that. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I think something that I can't say specifically for like the actual music, like the song choices and stuff that are kind of the soundtrack of Supernatural. But for me, I love that it feels like, just kind of like what Christian was saying, like everybody that had a musical impact in Supernatural, I feel like while acting might be what they're known for, I feel like they're genuinely so good at
So
also music.
freaking good.
I was thinking about Lisa Berry.
Oh my gosh.
She's incredible. Like, right? I know. And so like, she's so good. And I remember her saying, I think she posted something on Instagram, and she was like, I hadn't sung in years until they asked me to sing Odeth. I think it was Odeth. Yeah, that one. Yep. Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I lost all confidence in my voice and all this stuff. And I think that speaks to kind of how Supernatural is. It just, everybody, that might not be their first thing, you know, the first thing that they do. They might not consider themselves singers, but then they are tasked with, you know, singing something that's just so good. And so, yeah, I just respect,
oh my gosh,
the humility that they have as far as being exceptional musicians. And they're just like, oh, you know, that's just part of my job. And I'm like, no, you're actually really good at this. So yeah, it's just great to see them kind of bloom, you know, and sing more. And I know Lisa said she started singing more as well, and taking voice lessons again.
Oh my gosh.
It's
and like
beautiful.
to know that like Brianna's in musical theater.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, cool.
Kim, I think too.
You know,
Kim is too, right?
Does she sing?
Yeah, she sings.
She sings.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just
they're incredible.
Unrivaled musical talent in that cast and crew.
Yeah.
So I'm just
agreed.
It's a huge freaking honor.
Yeah.
I just want to say this last thing about the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Or just this show in particular. I have realized that there is like this really amazing crossover in creatives, no matter where you kind of land or how you pay your bills or whatever. Creatives tend to be we tend to all kind of get along, I think. And I really, 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 really have loved seeing, mostly because she sent me clips of this. Sheree sent me clips of this. I really enjoyed seeing like the transformation of Jensen, like 15 years ago, singing and like strumming on guitars, turning away from the crowd, to like hamming it up. Like, you know, in the time that I've known him, in his little dancey dance. And I'm just, to me, any sort of environment that pushes people or encourages people to be vulnerable, to perform more, to be seen and express themselves, that is like, no matter if it's choir, no matter if it's acting, no matter if it's theater or visual arts, any place that kind of engenders that sort of growth and self-expression, I think it's just like a solid place to be, no matter what the context is. And to me, that is what, for me, that's what'll stay with me for years to come. After I've forgotten all of the episodes in order, I will still remember that this cast and crew are just steeped in creative acts of service. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's just, it's so awesome.
Agreed.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I want to kick it off and just talk about Family Business Beer Company as a venue. I know it's a total bummer that their tap room is closed. I know they're looking for future venues. I am so excited to see them open a tap room a little closer into Austin. But it was such a special space because it had this really cool stage setup that was in the main room, and it didn't feel like a big stage. It was probably only like maybe like 8 inches or a foot up, but it did like have this really cool effect of turning what could just be like having beers with the friends, being like, oh, there's live music. Oh, these are great performers. And I've seen several performances there. I saw Steve Carlson actually play there for his birthday a couple years ago, and I was just like, yeah, this is a vibe. I'm into it.
It's always looked really cute, but LA and I have never got to go. Like we've gone to Austin for the convention twice, and we didn't know about it before that. The first time we didn't go, I think it didn't work out for us to leave early for us to go because, like you said, Sadie, it's near Austin, but you do have to make special plans if you're going to go out there. In fact, I think it was closed before this second Austin convention already.
Yeah. Because there was like a family business FBBC meetup, but it was at South Austin Taps, I think, or something like that. It was on South Lamar.
Right.
Yeah, no, I definitely joined. I'm a proud family member. I've gone to the members only parties, and I brought my brother with me.
Why did the tap room close?
A big part of it was just that like they really wanted to move into Austin and get something closer because, and I will say this, like my parents live out in Dripping Springs. You can get an Uber out there, but trying to get an Uber back is really, really difficult because it is far enough and it's very expensive. And so then it became this issue. Like, I don't think they had this issue, but I think there was some concerns about like, oh, people come out, they have a great time. They don't have a safe way to get back home. Like we would prefer it if we were more in the city. It would be easier for folks that are visiting from out of town. So I know it's an ongoing search, but I think it was just trying to like, yeah, have a better option. And in the meantime, it's expensive to operate a big facility like that.
Oh, okay.
It was just far enough that if you were planning a trip to Austin, you had to like pre-plan for Dripping Springs to be on the itinerary as kind of its own day trip, basically.
Yeah, you had to like plan to rent a car for that day or knew someone who was going to drive you or there's no way to get out there otherwise. So bummer. But I will say you can still find family business in HEBs across the state. And I think also in Specs, which is like the big liquor store. So, I mean, every time I go home, my parents know the deal. I got a 6-pack of Cosmic Cowboy and a 20-pack of HEB tortillas.
Those tortillas are good.
I know. Yeah.
Now, Radio Company, they are more consistently doing events with Creation Entertainment, though, right? Like we're probably going to see them at more locations in 2026 where they do not only performances at Saturday Night Special, but they also do their own panel. Didn't you go to an event with Radio Company at a convention, Sadie?
Yeah, I went to their first panel that they had in Austin, which was also before the Sagebrush show that they had. That was wild. But yes, I did go to their panel. In that case, because it was in Austin, they did a barbecue dinner and panel. And so we all got lovely brisket and sausage. And I was like, oh, it's not Terry Black's? No, it was great. It's fine. And they talked a bit about the songwriting, how they started working together. Took questions about lyrics from songs, inspiration, things they listened to, and they played a few songs or pieces of songs. I think it's evolved even since then. I don't think they do the dinner anymore, and I think that it's an even smaller group than that first one was. So I think it's much more intimate, feels more like a jam kind of thing. But I have not been since then. Maybe I got to re-up my tickets.
I don't think that LA has seen Radio Company. I know she's seen Jensen perform, but not Radio Company.
Yeah, when y'all were talking about that, I was about to say, I don't think I've seen the actual whole band, just him.
Yeah. Well, the one other thing I wanted to say about this episode, because I don't like, we're talking about Radio Company. That's not who we listen to today. I really wanted to focus on the live music scene in Austin, because I think like both the Scott Sisters and Night Parade are so representative of that scene, where it's like you go out and you look for venues and you meet people who know somebody who say like, come play at Pershing Hall with me. Oh, we need backup singers. Like, come join us. It's a really, even though Austin has changed a lot, I think the live music scene is still very welcoming and like is really happy to include new voices and new talent. And there's just a freaking venue at every coffee shop and dive bar. It's great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I loved the Scott Sisters story. I feel like that was an embodiment of all of that. And coming back to seeing Saturday Night Special and seeing Radio Company perform, they really do add to that live performance. Just up there smiling and dancing and giving that back up. So it's a wonderful thing that they've started adding them, just giving the music that extra layer.
Yeah, I love it. They look like they're having so much fun. Gotta get in all the dancey dances.
Yeah.
I like that you were going to take it upon yourself to go help them out and find where they were supposed to be going. Not that that's about them, but I was like sitting there listening, and I was like, she would just go up there and be like, you guys need help?
I'm your new tour guide. No, I don't know where I'm going either. It's fine.
I thought that was funny.
Well, I've been trying to make it a point to introduce myself to them, because we've chatted a few times back and forth, just in DMs, you know? So I wanted to I've been trying to make it a point to go introduce myself to them in person. And it's just been almost every time I've seen them out, I've been like, oh, there they are. And finishing the conversation I'm having or something. And then by the time I'm at a point where I can head that way, they're gone, or they're en route to somewhere else. So
if it makes you feel better, the first way that I met Night Parade was at one of the family reunion parties. And my brother had to leave early because he was meeting his girlfriend, now fiance, for some friend event they were going to. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll get a ride. I'm how I know you can't get Ubers from family business. And I had been drinking all day. They're wonderful products. And I needed a ride home. And Gina was like, have you met Allison? She was on stage for Night Parade. And Allison gave me a ride back to my brother's apartment in North Austin.
Wow.
I was like, boy, I really hope I wasn't just like a drunk mess. I was like, thank you so much. You seem so great. We should hang out at a con.
I promise if we ever do an episode where it would apply, I'm going to have you on the podcast.
Yes. I will make up for this with free publicity.
Promotion. Yeah.
Now for the show's credits.
This season is a co-production between Denim-wrapped Nightmares and In Defense of Fandom.
Cover art for In Defense of Fandom was designed by Liz Hand.
Cover art for Denim-wrapped Nightmares was designed by Rain Zielman.
Music featured in this episode was by Radio Company. You can see links to our featured guests, music, and more in the show notes.
If you've enjoyed this collaboration, we want to know. Send us a message on Instagram or Twitter. We love hearing from you.
And while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed to both shows so you never miss an episode.
Also, a review on Apple Podcasts wouldn't hurt either.
See you next episode.
Bye.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.